With the announcement of Squadbusters going global, there are now 6 total Supercell games. And all of these games have faced many ups and downs. However, when looking at them in this moment, of some of the games look really promising, while others not so much. And today, we'll be going over what the future of each of these games could look like. So, let's straight into it. With Supercell's oldest games, which is Hayday, now this game is almost 12 years old, and I am sure you probably haven't heard of it. I mean is, when you go on YouTube, there are almost like no Hayday videos, and the Hayday channel itself doesn't post very often, and it doesn't get a lot of viewers, when compared to the channel for the other Super Solo games. But despite the game seeming kind of inactive or declining, it's actually going really good, and it does have some bright future ahead of it. I mean, just in April, the game almost made $10 million and got about the same amount of downloads as the Clash of Clans. Hayday is really just has a very casual player base. It doesn't really have much content that can be made by content creators, which is really why you never heard about it. Plus, it is almost Supercell's only single player PvE game, so it just attracts a different audience compared to the other Super Solo games. Meaning there isn't a big overlap with the Hayday community. But what does that mean for the future of the game? Well, honestly, for me, it looks like the game will just be heading in a pretty straight path. And they will be doing what they've been doing, which is just leaving the game as something for casual players, but also adding in new features to keep people busy as well as special events. So, overall, Haley just seems to be doing its own thing, and it's going pretty well. And something similar can be said for the next game, which is Clash of Clans. Over the last few months, Clash of Clans has just been training upwards, and the main reason for this is because they have doubled the size of their team and also changed up their strategy by just adding a ton more content in the game. And by constantly running big and new events, the future of Clash of Clans really seems bright. And I think that they're just going to continue adding more and more contents. It's just making the game more exciting for all players, and this leads to a lot of growth. And I also think that Clash of Clans will end up pushing more collabs, since their collab with Holland was a massive growth within their game. So, overall, it seems like the Clash of Clans is a good path in the future. It's looking really good. However, the same cannot be said for Boom Beach. Now, the game is honestly in the worst state when compared to the all other Supercell games. Their YouTube channel is very inactive and they barely cross viewers. And it is the least downloaded and less profitable game as well. I am not including Squadbusters since the game came out of a soft launch for the last week of April. And even in the short period of time, with a small player base, it managed to make quarter of what Boom Beach made, which is just crazy. Boom Beach is honestly the first global Supercell game that I think will end up shutting down. And there was a spin-off of Boom Beach called Boom Beach Frontline. It was developed by the Spacescape game, which is mostly owned by Supercell Game. And this game came out in late 2021, so it was shut down less than a year. And this really shows how the whole Boom Beach community has kind of fallen. And the game is nowhere near where it was a few years ago. I mean, not many people even play Boom Beach, and the game has lost over 90 or 85% of its player base. The main reason for this is that the game really just tried to copy Clash of Clans. While it did have its difference, it's still just too similar. People would rather play Clash of Clans, as that was just a better and more enjoyable game. And the Boom Beach Frontline game was their attempt to try not to be like the Clash of Clans game. As I just said, it didn't really work out. Boom Beach also did introduce us a Boom Pass just in March of this year. And this was similar to all the passes in the other Supercell games. It was kind of weird how they introduced it so recently. Despite the passes existing for years, In the other games, this might was just the attempt by the developers to try and attract more players or just to try and get more revenue to keep the game running. Well, honestly, I really think that Boom Beach should be shut down. Otherwise, we're just going to have to watch the game decline further and further away. Overall, I think Boom Beach really has the least promising future, and is probably going to be the first game to just shut down. And I think Clash Royale is going to be falling closely behind. Clash Royale is really like the most controversial among the game, since it has been becoming pay to win. And it is pretty clear that the devs of the game don't have the best interest of the players. This game has just been in decline since about 2020, which is where the game first started to really become pay to win. And it has been the second lowest average player count, with Boom Beach. And it does look like the devs are trying to revive the game by adding in new events and giving away free things, similar to Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars. But with Clash Royale, it just isn't hitting the same, and the most of these events don't really end up going right. And I think it's right up there with Boom Beach for being a game that will end up shutting down. Since honestly, I think it's harming the community because it is the only game that isn't receiving major collaborations, unlike Clash of Clans and Brawl Stars. And the reason is because of the negative image that the game has managed to develop. So, overall, the future of the game isn't really looking bright. But the sum of cannot be said for Brawl Stars. This game is reaching brand new heights and it's going to be the biggest and highest earning Supercell games. And I don't see things changing anytime soon. They have just been introducing a ton of new features and events in the last few months, similar to Clash of Clans. And this has all led to the active player counts just increasing a ton. Well, honestly, at my school, everyone is playing Brawl Stars, and this is just wasn't the case. Like a year ago, Brawl Stars is receiving a lot of attention, and they have been doing many big collabs such as ones with Baby Sharks and Godzilla, and also the brand new collab with Subway Surfer, which is just an iconic game that has been around for a really long time. Like, this is the first collab they're ever done with another game, which is a massive news. I can't wait to see how this collaboration plays out. Brawl Stars has a bright future, and with how the Brawl Star team really connects and listens to the community, I really think that Brawl Stars will keep increasing popularity. I mean, they've managed to reclaim the throne as a #1 free mobile game. Plus, with Subway Surfer, it is the #3 spot at the collaboration between these two would just be insane and will lead to ton of growth for both games. So yeah, overall, Brawl Star is going really well and has the brightest future out of the Supercell games so far. So with that, we are now finally can do Squadbusters, which is the newest Supercell game. This game isn't supposed to go global until 29th of April, and it just hasn't even been out for a full month yet. But there's still plenty to say about the future of the game. I mean, the game has already gotten over 30 million registers, which is just absolutely insane. And it's so clear that the launch of the game is going to be insane. And even right now, the game is really booming. Since, I mean, there is certain ton of people that can just using VPNs to play the game so early, and I honestly can't blame them. This game does seem very interesting. However, there was really just been one kind of issue. Is nothing. But anyways, the game has been receiving a lot of updates, and I'm sure that by the time the game launches, there will be a ton of more available stuff. But either way, the game does have a lot of potential, and as long as the global release goes smoothly, but with that, we have the future may look like for every major super games right now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.